I'm a little jittery right now because I just spent the last 2 hours writing nonstop and my hand really hurts. Also, I just got back inside and it is cold out there. Winter is coming. Silly me, I thought we were into spring now. I can't actually talk for much longer. I will get back to you in just a minute, or a few minutes for me. It'll only be a few seconds for you because jump cuts, wow! I do have to go. My duty and my destiny as a older sister compels me to go back to from whence I came. It really won't take long. Just follow me over here. And we're here, back home. Wow! I'm in different clothes. What? Yeah, it wasn't so much a few minutes as it was a day. Oops. I got busy. What can I say? I had to make dinner for my bros because my parents are out of town. My dear, dear friend Shannon came over to teach me how to cook because I don't know how. It was very delicious and all credit for the meal's success goes to her. Remember how I said last time that there were just people declaring their majors out in public spaces? Yeah, that's still happening. I declare So as I mentioned casually at the beginning of this video, I have completed 2 exams out of 4. I can't really complain about having 2 exams in 2 days because I have a friend who has 4 exams in 4 days. That's not fun. But these 2 tests were formatted very differently and it got me thinking about what kind of exams I prefer. Obviously, I prefer not to have any. The only version of me that would really like an exam would have been grade 3 Nikki, who wrote in a survey given to us by our teacher with what do you want to have more of this year in our class? More tests and quizzes. I just think exams aren't really the best way of telling how a person has done overall in the class. I like the classes where I get to do a lot of assignments throughout the year so that teachers and TAs can see that you have a grasp on the concept, but it's not all on the one day when you didn't get sleep or you're half dead because you have a horrible illness or your hand cramps up. Gosh, 2 hours is not long enough to write 5 paragraphs identifying passages from plays and an essay. It can't be done well. Again, I can't really complain that much because most of my exams are all in the 30% range, but I do know people who have exams worth like 70% of their final grade. These people are mostly in sciences, so I guess they're not writing a million essays during the school year. I hate essays. After having the French exam and then the drama exam, and the drama was the one where I was writing a lot, French was like, what does grammar mean? I preferred writing the drama one, even though it hurt my hand a lot, because it was all just what was in my brain and it was completely subjective. Not completely. That's not to say that I like writing essays. I hate essays. At least I hate the kinds of essays that you were taught to write in high school where you do like point, example, explanation. It gets so boring to write. My problem is that I'm not explaining myself enough. I get that the point of the essay is to say, this is my opinion, and this is why it's right, and this is why you should believe me, and leave them no room for argument, basically. But that would be a boring conversation, wouldn't it? Oh, Nikki, it's not a conversation. Well, maybe it should be. I like seminars where we get to discuss our ideas in the group. I think a really good exam for something like a literature class would be to have a discussion one-on-one with the TA. That would be cool. When I read fiction, what I really like, and it's really hard to explain or describe, I like it when the narration doesn't lay everything out for you to be completely obvious, or doesn't state the moral like at the end of a Grimm story. The reader is sort of, they have to make this little tiny jump between what the text is saying and what the author means or what the narrator means. What you are given and what you're supposed to get out of it. There's a jump. And I think making this jump in your mind is what's most engaging for the reader. They don't really know that that's going on, but it is, and that's what's making them interested because they have to think. In an essay, or reading an essay, I don't think you have to think that much. If you're reading an essay, it's just, this is everything, and you're sort of reading it like a shopping list going, okay, fair enough. What I tend to do sometimes in essays is leave that gap. Not necessarily in a purposeful, this is a gap, but if I go back and I look at it and they've written, explain this further. But it makes sense. I just don't like it. I'm taking a lot of humanities courses and will be continuing to take a lot of humanities courses in the future that will require me to write essay after essay after essay. And when I am out of school, I'm going to manipulate the minds of my readers by making them make that jump. Before I go, let me show you one thing. I'm not even going to turn off the camera. One sec. This is a check that I got in the mail from hitrecord.org. It's a cool thing, an open collaborative arts company. You don't need to know for the purposes of this. All you need to know is that I got this thank you card in the mail with it, and it says, "Dear me," and then it's signed by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Yeah!
You've just watched a fantastic film by Nicky Lanthea Rogers.